Thank you for joining us for another episode of Sauti Zetu. We are very honored to have Mr. Ali Gozai here with us today. He's an amazing man who created this piece with this cardboard, and it's not a Sharpie, but he's an art director, photographer, designer, and freelance creative director. Thank you for joining us, Ali.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background? You came from Iran, moved to Sweden, and then here?
Yeah. Born in Iran. Back in the early '70s, after the revolution, my parents decided to move back home to make the difference, and it didn't work the way they wanted. So then we decided to move to Sweden. My dad had a friend in Sweden, so they decided to send me and my brother to Sweden. And as a political refugees, we stayed in Sweden for a while till we got my parents out of the country, and was there till I was 24, and then moved to United States. So that's kind of the short version of it.
Okay, so tell us how your past experience shaped who you are today as an artist and as Ali.
Well, I mean, your childhood is one of those things that you know, as much as sometimes you try to forget it, you can't. So, especially with this last piece of work that I'm making, it's called Invisible People. So, and it's very clear where the experiences come. I'm not saying that I have exactly the same experiences at every subject that I have, but it makes it a little easier for me to understand. Being part of the being in a war zone, hearing the loud noises of explosion, this, that, the other. It's not an easy thing to explain to people and have them to understand it, but when you experience it, it's just there and never goes away. So it makes it a little easier for me to understand these subjects and try to kind of get it through the art. So that's what I'm trying to do, I guess.
Speaking about the Invisible People collection, this piece that we have right here, Ashagan, did I say it right?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about Ashagan.
This is actually, when I started doing the cardboard pieces, I was just, it was right after I was very involved with fashion and all of that, and I did a couple of pieces that were fashion oriented, but then I felt like, I had to do something that had a little more meaning to it, a little more closer to myself, I guess.
Right.
And this was actually one of the first pieces I made for the Invisible People.
Right.
And this is a child soldier. It's an Iranian kid, pretty much, that's going to war. And the ironic part of it was on his forehead. Usually they have all this bandana that says it's usually a religious thing.
Right.
They're dying for God or dying for whatever.
Yeah.
But this thing, it reads, people that are in love. But apparently part of it would say with God or, somebody, but you can't see that. And I thought it was so ironic because here's a kid, he's in love with something. And,
Yeah.
What that is, I don't think he really knows what that is, but he's going to go and die for it, So, there you go. That was pretty much the piece for me. And I had this image for years, and I really wanted to do something with it. So the cardboard thing came kind of natural.
Okay, and as you mentioned, child soldiers and stuff, and I know you've probably seen the Coney 2012 stuff. What's your opinion on that?
For me, it's like, they've done an awesome job. I know it's easy. There's a lot of, people, after somebody does something, they go in and criticize and, have their own ideas. But here's somebody that I respect a lot. He believed in something. He went out there and got it done. And the least he's done is he's educated, 2 million people. And even our educational system here hasn't accomplished that. So.
True.
So I respect the guy. I think it's an awesome movement, and hopefully it gets the result that they want to get.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, but the detail on this piece is amazing. The buttons, and I think
blown away. The emotions.
Yeah.
I can see the emotions of every piece of work. and this is just one we're looking at.
Yeah.
How many pieces are in this collection, and how long did it take you?
Right now I have about 11 pieces. My goal is to have about 30 pieces, and 30 to 40
So
pieces.
you're still
It's still
working?
ongoing, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not finished by any means. Each piece takes me about 30 to 40 hours to make.
Oh my days.
So I've put myself on a schedule of making one a week. Now
Yeah.
I'm behind. I'm doing my best, but that's the goal. I mean, eventually, hopefully, I can have enough pieces to, convince some people that this is a good show to take it, maybe from city to city, and
Most definitely.
get the message out there.
I think it is, and I think you will get
So
some.
do you work at night or during the day?
Yeah, it's all night.
You're a night owl.
During the day, I mean, we all have to pay bills, I guess,
Right.
Yeah.
unfortunately. So, I'm dealing with, picking up freelance work, as you mentioned before. I do, graphic design, art direction, whatever I can do to pay the bills. And then during the night, around midnight, I start working
Wow.
on this stuff till about 2, sometimes 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So will you be showcasing your work elsewhere in the Metroplex, or will you also be going outside of Texas, around the U.S.?
I mean, it's wide open. Right now, I have there's a show that I have at AMS with part of the Invisible People. It's going to be there for about another week, I think, end of April. It kind of started at the same time as this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to taking it anywhere. So, I'm going to Scotland for this Carbordia thing that was part of, winning this thing, and I'm hoping that that's going to kind of spark something and meet some new people and see what opportunities are out there. So I'm definitely open to anything, and that's the whole thing, working on this stuff to get the message out.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from cardboard, do you use any other material to do your arts?
Yeah, I mean, I started as I don't call myself a painter, but I painted just like anybody else.
Right.
But a lot of times and partly because of growing up in Sweden, recycling is a huge part of our
Right,
everyday
yes,
life.
yes.
In Europe in general, and in the Nordic countries even more, and hopefully it's going to get better and better here. But so because of that background, I always look for materials that are like people discard and
Right.
consider trash.
You
So,
turn them into art.
yeah, I mean, even my paintings, a lot of them are on recycled board, wood that I pick up or anything. So I'm not close to any material. If it works, I use it.
Yeah.
Use it.
Okay. What's your most memorable response to like some of your artwork?
I mean, it's hard to like pick a moment, but I think just when you see your art, up somewhere in a public area and you get the reaction of like just people stopping.
Yeah.
That's pretty much priceless for me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that 3 seconds that they stop and look at it and kind of actually step to the picture to read about it.
Right.
That's the most important part for me. That's when I get the word. Now, people just looking at it, it's still cool,
Yeah.
they react to it. But when they stop and actually read about it,
Yeah.
that makes my day, because really, truly, I mean, yeah, this is my art, but I'm really trying to get that message out there. I really think we need to educate ourselves about all the stuff that's going on. So that, I guess, it's the best reward.
That's fair enough.
And on the flip side, what irks you about people's comments or when it relates something that relates to your work?
It's art, and if you've been around design and art long enough, nothing gets you pretty much. It's people are, entitled to their opinions. They have their opinions, and I respect everybody's opinion. Now, how much of it do I use in my work? It's kind of up to me, I guess, at that point, and I'll take it and I'll move on. So it doesn't really bother me. So you guys can tell me that you don't like it.
Oh well.
That's an amazing piece. Now, for somebody who's, okay, I'm not creative at all, and we have a lot of creative people out there, young people out there, but how would you advise them to come out and showcase their work? Because some of them have their talent hidden and they just
closet artists.
They don't know how to come out and
Yeah.
showcase. What advice would you give to them?
I mean, it's one of those things. It's not an easy thing to do. I'll be honest about it. It's tough, but you just have to keep at it. Any opportunity you get, and I think a lot of young artists kind of really want to do it too fast.
Right.
You have to pay the price. You have to do the voluntary things. You have to, give stuff up and donate stuff, and that's the key. You have to keep going and offering your time pretty much for free until you get out there.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's pretty much it. And keep doing it regardless. If you're getting attention or not, if it's something that you love, just keep doing it.
True.
And how do you stay creative and relevant in today's world?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things. It's just like, I try to educate myself as much as I can. But, and that's another thing as an artist, sometimes you kind of get stuck in certain things and you have to remind yourself that, yeah, this is great, but, you have to move on.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what I do. I mean, I try to educate myself and push myself to do things,
Okay, so what's coming up for you, What's coming up for Ali, and where can people go to see the rest of your collection?
The rest of the collection, as I said, there's part of it at AMS, which on my website there's
What's the website? Go ahead and plug
website
yourself.
It's golzadart.com or
Right.
golzadartblog.com. Both
Got it.
of it takes you to the same place. Right now, as I said, AMS, and I have some of my paintings in McKinney. It's called La Misha. It's a restaurant downtown McKinney that's showing some of my paintings. Other than that, right now I don't have any exact plans. We have some stuff going on because of the attention that we got here.
Yeah.
So hopefully that would materialize and take us to the next place. But definitely, as I said, those little people, it's I'm not going to give up. I'm going to push
Keep going.
and see
Keep
where
going.
it's going to take me. But
And you still have a lot more to kind of keep. You have a few more pieces. Finish up the collection.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, the collection has about 11 pieces now,
far,
but 40 is a magic number.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
30 is I'll be happy with it, but
Yeah,
40 is
it's
the
a magic
magic
number.
number. So that's what I'm trying to. And the other thing is to design the entire space. It's not just making pieces that we put it on the wall, but and that's what I was saying. I'm pushing myself. It's like I'm trying to think the big picture and design the entire space of this material and this subject. So yeah, I gotta work.
So, Ali, if you had a superpower, what would it be and why? We had to ask this kind of question for you all.
Yeah,
Superpower. First of all, we don't know if I don't have it. So maybe I have it. I don't know about it either. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. I guess flying would be cool. Because then I can I do miss my family, being too far from them, and if you can fly, that'd be cool because you can get there and see them, and you can go to these places, these places that it's your subjects. Because one of the things I try to do, I mean, right now I collect a lot of images and I kind of piece them together to do my illustrations, but the ultimate goal would be for me to be able to actually travel and take your own pictures and base your illustrations on that.
Yeah.
So I guess if I could fly, I could take care of that. So there you go.
All right. Any last words of advice for our artists out there?
Just keep doing it, man. I mean, and have a message. I know we all, there's a lot of art out there, and it's all good. It's all art, but I think if you can tie it to a message where we can, educate people about something, for me that would take the art to the next level. So
That's it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I will see you guys next time.
Zetu.